Thank you all for being here. Welcome to Kentucky Speedway and our presentation to Dale Earnhardt Jr. plus our Q&A session with him as well. First of all, I'd like to introduce Mark Simmendinger, our general manager, and he'll take it from here on our presentation from Kentucky Speedway and others.
Dale Earnhardt Jr. has been coming to Kentucky Speedway really since we built Kentucky Speedway, going all the way back. Everybody knows what he means to the industry, and when he announced that this is going to be his last year for Cup racing, we're trying to think of, what do you do for Dale? He doesn't realize we've been doing stuff for him. He kind of said he didn't like the bumpy track, so we repaved it, and then he was single, and so we got him a wife from the University of Kentucky, and we thought that would be helpful. And so then, so now it's like, how do we top that? So what we thought about, though, is really kind of what Dale means to this sport, and what he really means to this sport, in my estimation, is the impact that he's had on everybody else in this sport. He's been an ambassador for all of us that make our living in this sport owe something to Dale, so thank you on behalf of everybody. He shoulders a lot of responsibility, but he also does a lot of good for a lot of people, and so we thought about something that would always signify excellence, and we wanted also, when people saw it, they thought a little bit about Kentucky Speedway, thought a lot about Dale Earnhardt, but also thought a lot about what he did for other people. So with that, Tim, if you would unveil what we're giving to Dale here. Dale, that is the jukebox that is emblematic of the winner of the races, but what you can't see is that it is all decaled out for Nationwide Children's Hospital on behalf of you. So we're going to donate that jukebox to the hospital, and it's got your number, your signature on there, and a plaque in there, appreciation from Kentucky Speedway. So, thanks for what you do for our industry, and also what you do for all the children and all the kids and all the charities that you deal with. So thanks very much.
That's awesome, because I know the kids are going to love it, and we just came from there yesterday and really enjoyed being able to visit, and that's going to be something that they're all going to love to mess with and play music. We got them a little stereo, but this is going to take the cake. So thank you. That's a very creative and very thoughtful, and it'll make a lot of kids smile when they're around this jukebox and enjoying it together. So I appreciate that. We've got Males here with us today as one of our patient champions. You think that everybody's going to love this at the hospital? I do too. So thanks a lot. It means a lot.
You're welcome. And we have also Jim McCoy from Nationwide. And then also I'd just like to acknowledge the Crosley team really took this on. Bo Lamastis and Tom Lewis really took this on, and they're the ones that created the design of it all, and we're really proud of how it turned out. So Bo came up with the whole idea of giving one to the winner of the races a long time ago, but for all this, so thanks for all your guys' help, and Nationwide for what you guys do, and the hospital. So thanks to everybody involved. Yeah, can we get some short?
Bring the Nationwide folks up and the Crosley folks, and we'll get some pictures. Everybody together, and Nationwide.
We're going to do a Nationwide one first, and we'll go. We're going to do a group one. How much is that on one? Everybody together.
You guys are
All right. Now I'm going to turn it over to Amanda Ellis and take you through the rest of the press availability.
All right. We thank everyone for joining us today. Dale, thanks again for your time, and we'll roll straight into a couple of questions for Dale. Please raise your hand, state your name and affiliation. We are going to try to get as many people as we can in. Obviously, we have a very full house. So if I can get, okay, we'll start right over there in the corner.
Mark Carroll, PRN. Junior, as you move into this last half of your last full-time season here, what's the balance? Like, you want to enjoy it, you want to let it all sink in, but you also have the pressure of trying to win and make the playoffs. How do you balance all that out?
Well, I mean, you don't balance it very well. I just spent 3 hours practicing today. Never once thought about my retirement or this being my last year. I was thinking about how in the hell to get that car to go a little faster. Nothing's came easy today, but and so on days like today, you could tell me I had 5 more years of this, and I, wouldn't know any better. It feels just like any other race, any other practice, but because you get in there and you get competitive, you want the best out of your car, you want to win, you want an opportunity to win, and that's all that really matters, and that's all we're trying to work for. In those moments. Then you get out of the car and you go, you kind of have to check yourself a little bit and calm yourself down a little bit. And, you got to work and tune the car with your crew chief and give him the opportunity to understand what the car needs. And so it's business as usual, to be honest, at the racetrack. I think that during the week, things aren't quite as tense, or there's a little more ease of mind, knowing there's a definite end point. But so during the week, I think I'm a little more relaxed and able to not stay so wound up like I used to be. But man, you get to the racetrack and you can't help it. I told myself, when I was out of the car last year, I had this realization of, man, I just need to enjoy this. Why am I putting this, why am I put so much pressure on myself, and why do I make this so miserable, when I'm supposed to really love what I'm doing, and I do. But you'd get so miserable trying to achieve greatness and be the best. And boy, does it get harder every year. So, I told myself when I had that little time out of the car that I was going to come back and I was just going to enjoy it, and I was going to be this great guy and so much fun to be around and not so hard on everybody. But you can't help it. I'm already mid-season. I'm back to mid-season form with my attitude, and you can't help it. When you want to do well, and I want to do as well this weekend as I did this. At this track 6 years ago. It's no more, no less. If you're going to come here and do the work and put all that effort in there, you might as well try your best, and you end up getting real competitive about it, just like you always have been. But yeah, when practice ends, I kind of calm down and say, man, I got to be cool and try to help my guys and help Greg. So yeah. It's tough to balance. It's very tough.
All right, we're going to go to Nate, Bob, and then if I can get a microphone up front here. Go ahead.
Nate Ryan, NBC Sports. Dale, I'm sure you heard that the big news story this morning was that Matt Kenseth said he is probably not going to return to Joe Gibbs Racing next year, and he doesn't have a ride for next year. Your careers have paralleled each other, and I know you guys have been close throughout that. What are your thoughts on, as you are in your final season, him potentially maybe being in his final season, and knowing that you wanted to have input on the 88, he says he wants to keep driving. Would you maybe put in a good word for him at Hendrick?
Matt's going to have a job. I don't think he's got to worry about that. I think that it's smart for him to let everybody know early what his plans are, or the lack of thereof. So he's a talented guy who is just a couple races removed from being a winner and could show up any week and get to victory lane. I think that the situation with Gibbs, from an outsider looking in, is there's just not enough room, and there's the Jones kids probably going to come in there and take that ride, or there's some agreement beforehand possibly that was what was going to happen. I don't know why they couldn't move Matt over to the 77 or whatever the plan is there, but Matt will get a job. He's so good and so talented that he'll be in a great car with a great opportunity next year, no less than what he has this year.
All right, Bob, go ahead.
Bob Pockrass, ESPN. Did you have any thoughts coming in here today that this was your last race of 2016? And can you just imagine what you were feeling a year ago to now?
Yeah. I was not feeling too good physically. And, I've thought about that quite a bit, just how much how big a difference it is from today compared to last year. It reminds you about how much we had to overcome and how much rehab went into trying to get healthy. And this is where it all kind of started to come to the surface, and where the symptoms and all that stuff started to be a concern. So it is a bit of a reminder, and I think it's. I think I'm proud that we worked so hard to come back, and worked hard to get healthy. And you get enough, you start racing this year, you kind of forget about last year, and I think we all do. We kind of forget about everything that happened, and little dates like this will bring those memories back and remind you of to be thankful and fortunate.
All right, go ahead.
Ken Spencer, WHAS 11. Speaking to kind of that, Dale, would it maybe this is a stretch, but would it mean something for maybe a win tomorrow night or a good performance? Would it bring this whole thing full circle a little bit?
No, a win's going to be great any week, but this is a hero in 1 week and a zero the next sport. You're going to go one day and feel like you got it figured out, and then reality's going to slap you in the face the next Sunday. So even if we have a great run tomorrow night or win, which would be awesome, there's another hill to climb and another one after that, each week. And this sport is so competitive, and for us as a team, it's been a real challenge this year to sort of find our footing. But we need a win to get in that chase. I think if we won tomorrow, that would be the first thing that would come to mind, is how that's helped us get an opportunity to be in the postseason in the final year. That'd be great.
All right, we'll take another question up front.
Fred Calgill with the CBS affiliate in Louisville, WLKY. The challenge of Kentucky, your best finish here I think is 4th. I think your average is about 14th. Just some thoughts about the track, the repave, what it's done. And is there a part of you, this is the last time we will see you, going out and winning here would be an exceptionally cool thing? Does it make you melancholy or anything like that?
Well, this track is it's kind of strange to me. We used to come here all the time testing, and it was a very fun track to test. And with the cars, the way the cars were back in 04, 02, 03, 04, whenever we were testing here, we just really kind of got around this place, and it drove completely different. And nothing's changed about the configuration as far as turns 3 and 4, that is. But not enough's changed about the track for it to drive the way it does today compared to back then. So a lot of it's probably the cars and the tires and the evolution of the sport. But it doesn't remind me today of anything like it was back then. Nothing. Completely different. And I can't, it's very strange that it's like that. But this place is such a challenge to get around now. Entering turn 3 is so flat. You go into that 1 and 2 with the new configuration allows for more speed. It's a very simple corner, as far as the circumference of it's very simple. It's easy. You go right around there, and you come down the back straightaway, carrying a lot of speed into a very, very, very flat entry. And the cars are just so wicked loose getting in there, and it just you're driving into this vast sort of wasteland that there's no really definite way to go through the corner, and you just kind of end up wherever you are, and it does make it challenging. Once this place sort of ages and that groove widens out, and you have like choices getting into the corner. Right now, we don't have a choice. We just kind of dirt track it down in there and hope for the best. But when you can kind of move around a little bit, that really makes it more fun and gives you opportunity to make more passes. We had a couple races here where there was a middle and a third groove. Complete blast, a lot of fun, because you're not kind of stuck behind everybody in that situation. You can make some choices to do something different in a corner to give you a chance to get around a guy, and that's a lot of fun. And once this place, gets that age on it, it's going to widen out and be a really great racetrack. It's an awesome track now, but it's going to continue to get better. 1 and 2 is going to widen out a little bit. That'll be a great corner. Having an opportunity to get around a guy on the outside will be an awesome thing, and particularly in 3 and 4. It's a really, really challenging corner. But I don't remember it being that way at all when we come here and tested back in the day. We was getting around here.
All right, we're going to go to Gary, and then Claire, and then I'm going to come back to the right side of the room. Go ahead.
Gary Graves, Associated Press. Granted, it's a small sample of races here that you've had, that the series has had here, but do you see the potential for someone new to break through in the victory lane this week in light of the changes that have been made to the track and maybe just all the different drivers that have won this year?
Yeah, I mean, it's hard to tell who's going to win from week to week. And I was just looking in practice at the top 10. It's a new crop. You got guys that are running good this year that you didn't worry about last year. So the cycle has happened as far as the teams that were strong seem to be kind of mid-pack and struggling a little bit this year. And there's some new teams and new faces up there competing and running fast laps in practice and running toward the front. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we had a non-regular win the race this weekend. But you got to expect the same. The 78, 18, those guys are going to be quick. The Gibbs cars look fast today, but there's the 42's fast, so they're going to have to beat the same regular guys that are going to be up front every week.
All right, we can get a mic to Claire, please.
Claire B. Lang, Sirius XM NASCAR Radio. Dale, you're a driver who's announced his plans. You're an owner. You're a fan of the sport. You're a friend of the drivers. Do you follow silly season? And attached to that, we're talking about Matt. There was a day when sponsors wanted winners, veterans. Now they're looking at the young guns. How do you look at, if you had the choice, who would you look at as far as age, not so much just for your ride, and following all the moves of silly season going on right now?
Oh, it's a lot of fun. It's a lot of rumors floating around. I heard about Matt's deal for a while, and everybody trying to figure out what's going on with Menard and Penske and what their plans are. They've got something, they've sorted out something, but it's kind of all up in the air. But or everybody's walking around the garage saying, "Hey, did you hear?" or "What's new?" There's like a handful of guys in the garage that seem to know everything first. But and it's not just a Cup garage; they're in the Xfinity garage too over there talking. But my spotter TJ, he thinks he knows everything that's happening. Those spotters get up there, and boy, do they go to town with that gossip. But it's fun to sort of keep your ear to the ground. I think it's interesting for all of us really to see what happens and who gets what opportunity, and what companies are thinking as far as how they may attach themselves to some of these new guys like Blaney or some of the new corporate sponsors, or maybe a sponsor that's been in the sport a long time makes a move from a veteran to a rookie. Those things are very interesting and have big impacts on the future of the sport and the future of that team and driver, but also the future of the sport. So I stay plugged in. you know, there's a lot of talented guys. We've talked about them all year long. But, you know, I think that, you know, Chase is definitely one of the top guys that I look at as a talent with marketing to back. You know, he's kind of the full package. You look for guys like that that have maybe a legacy or just a great personality, that are good for they're going to be good in front of the camera, and they're going to want to, you know, go to work for their sponsors during the week. So I think that you know, Chase and Blaney's great. You know, he's hilarious, great personality, great with social media. So those guys that that do that well will have a leg up on some of the other guys that are just talented. If you want to really, you know, take the bull by the horns in this sport today, you got to be a salesman, a pitchman, and you got to be able to talk the talk during the week, aside from what you do at the racetrack. I know the fans are, you know, the fans are all about performance, and they don't care what their driver's doing, or they say they don't care what their driver's doing except for what's on the racetrack. But it makes a difference when, you know, you got a personality to build off of and to use. You know, the sponsors, you know, can take that as a tool and grow the relationship and connect to the fans and the driver. A driver like Blaney, who has such a knack for that and doesn't have a problem really going and doing, putting himself in front of new audiences, is a good thing.
All right, we have approximately 10 minutes left with Dale, so we need to try to move through as many questions as we can. We'll start with Chris, we're going to go to Jim, and then we're going to go back to Heather next. Go ahead.
ChrisKnightCatchfence.com. Dale, I was just wondering how much of a routine social media is now, especially like doing the Periscope videos. And then, as you noted just yourself last night, how's the bump?
Oh, I haven't went down there. I am not going down to that drainage ditch or whatever that is on the front straightaway. I hit it last year. I thought I wasn't, you know, we don't run down there. I guess don't go down there. That's kind of the idea. But somehow or another, I was passing Denny Hamlin, and I was worried about him side drafting me. And so I went below the line on the front straightaway and hit that thing, and I landed in front of him and scared the shit out of both of us. It was terrible. It was terrible. We came so close to crashing, and, like, no one knew this happened. You know, it was kind of like in the middle of the race, and everything's, you know, just kind of everybody's a little into this kind of mode of just kind of watching cars go around. And I was like, golly, that was so close to being a big deal. But it looks like it's a little bit better. But I'm not going to go down there and find out. But social media is, I really have to hold back, to be quite honest with you. I mean, I could do a Periscope every day. I really enjoy social media. I don't know whether, you know, I don't want to be that guy that's on there too much and hey, look at me and this is what I'm doing and man, I can't get enough of myself. So I don't want to be that guy. So I try to not to seem too, but I'm eager to do it. I really enjoy it. I love the sarcasm, and you get to know, you get to know everybody so much better because we don't never have time to really spend much time just to take myself, or the drivers, all the drivers and the media. We don't really spend much time around each other, right? Aside from these press conferences and stuff, interacting a little bit when we do doing a story together. But we really don't chat. And so social media is so funny. I've gotten to know a lot of y'all and how y'all perceive, the sport and the world, and it's a lot of fun. And I think I use Twitter more now as a bit of a message board, just to goof around and laugh and have fun and see what everybody else is laughing about. Whereas I use Instagram more as a bit of a storytelling with pictures and videos. So it's a blast though, and I've enjoyed it a lot.
All right, Jim, go ahead.
Jim Utter, motorsport.com. As it's become clearer that you probably would need a win to make the playoffs, it seems like everybody's been running down this checklist, particularly as Daytona approached, like this is Dale's last best chance, or how do these tracks look coming up? Do you and Greg even look at it that way, or is it simply next week is the next best chance to get one?
we go to every race hoping to win, thinking, man, we might show up and this might be the week that we got a car that can win. We went to Texas and ran really, really good on a new repave. So we came here thinking, man, this might be a great shot. We had what we thought I thought we had a car that could win at Texas, and I didn't do what I needed to do. We had the fastest car at the end of the race, and I didn't do things in the laps, many laps prior to that, many restarts and opportunities there to make passes to win the race. So, but we came here thinking maybe we can apply the same things technically to the car that we did there, since it's a repave. So mentally we come in with that confidence or maybe that positiveness that this is a great opportunity. If things can go as well as they did in Texas, we might have a fast enough car. I don't know if I'll do that when we go to every track, but we came here on a positive front because of our experience on the last repave. But yeah, I think at Daytona there was some urgency, because I think it's an easier race to win for me than it is here. Or I think that I go in there knowing what I need to do to win. I felt like I was very aggressive in the race and having a lot of fun, and my car was amazing, and all I needed to do was be right there at the end, and we just didn't get to do that. But do I think that we don't have any more chances? No, I mean, I think we can show up somewhere and get the job done, but it's just not going to come as easy as it might come at Daytona, and it's going to be some work.
All right, Heather, go ahead.
Heather Williams, WCYB, Bristol, Virginia. I was curious, you kind of got to watch the last 2 years as Jeff and Tony kind of went on these last tours, this farewell tour, whatever. But are you ever surprised when you come to the track at the creativity and the gifts and the reception and the different things that go on from track to track? And then I know it's still a month away, but have you put any thought into your last run at Bristol?
My last run at Bristol, I think we got a special paint scheme for that I'm kind of excited about. But, that track is, going to the night race at Bristol was one of my favorite races to go to as a kid. And just a great tiny little racetrack. And as a, 12, 14, 15-year-old kid, you could see the whole place before the end of the weekend. And me and my buddies were all over it. And we had a blast every time we went there. I have a lot of fond memories there. I'm glad I've got a trophy from that racetrack. And that'll be one of the tracks that I miss running at more than some others, for sure. I love short track racing. It's probably what I love the best about this sport, and it's one of the few that we get to run on. And it's such a unique racetrack, shape, banking, all that. There's nothing that compares to it. So I'll always feel special about it. It's only been a few weeks with the presentations and gifts and stuff, but things like this mean a lot to me, where I know this is going to go to the hospital and the kids are going to love it. I would rather the track sort of follow that road to making a difference in someone else's life long term, whether it's through a charitable contribution or what have you. Those things are going to be everlasting. And I got my house is full of stuff. I don't have anywhere to hang any photos or put any plaques and I don't know that Amy's wants any of that stuff hanging around on the walls. But so these kind of contributions to the community are going to be the ones that I think are going to be the ones that I like the most. So I guess I'm encouraging anyone going forward that wants to do this to go in that direction, because it's just it feels great. I've got everything I need. I've got a great life. I don't need anything, but to have something that's going to impact someone else or a group of folks long term is the best thing. So I pull the tracks to do that going forward.
All right, we are officially out of time with Dale. I'm going to take one final question over here to the left, and then Dale will thank you again for your time. Go ahead.
Kendrick Haskins from Wave 3 in Louisville. Dale, piggybacking on what you were just talking about, you met Melanie before you went out on the track this morning. What that mean to you, and why does Nationwide Children's Hospital mean so much to you?
The Nationwide relationship has been one that's I've had for a long time. They introduced me to the hospital. It's something that they've put a lot of money into and they've been connected to for a long time. And they said, look, this is special to us. This is maybe one of the things that means more to us than anything else. We want you to know about it, experience it. I got to go to the hospital on half a dozen occasions over the last 3 years and enjoy every visit. I had the opportunity to take friends and my crew, my wife along with me. It's awesome to watch them go through the tour and see them understand what's happening there and what the place is capable of. So it's fun. It's fun to watch everybody sort of be amazed, and pick their jaws off the floor. But I didn't know what to expect first time I went there, and I'm glad for Nationwide introducing me to the hospital because it's impacted my life, and I've got, it's allowed me something to focus on, to be a part of, to make a difference. And we've made some great friends with the staff and the many of the patients as well. And so it's been just an amazing experience for me and many other people that have had the opportunity to go see it. We'll continue to go, and they happen to they put mine and Amy's name up in the hospital over the activity room where the kids go play, and they have their graduations and celebrations in there as well. So we'll be connected to that place forever, and can't wait to go back. Can't wait to take a whole plane load of people with me that have never seen it before, so they can see what's going on.
All right, Dale, thank you again for your time. Best of luck this weekend. To all the media, don't go anywhere. Ricky Stenhouse is coming up next.